Today, listen, we're going to start talking about measurements. Alright, when we measure in industrial arts class, we're going to talk about inches. Metric is what normal people use in Europe and Asia and everywhere else. Okay, that's the metric system. Metric system is a whole lot easier than inches. Inches deal with fractions. Okay, metric, all we do is we count to the lines and to the numbers, which make it a lot easier for everybody else. Okay, so these are the things to remember while we are talking about measurement. Okay, the standard system, we use fractions. We already talked about that. Okay, 12 inches equals 1 foot. That is what we covered in our field work. Reduce fractions to the lowest term. Later on, I will tell you guys how we are going to reduce fractions to the simplest terms with that. It's very easy. We're going to count spaces, not lines. And then we are going to do a lot of different practicing activities to learn how to measure. Because practicing makes measuring easier. Alright, so this is a representation of an inch. Okay, this is not a true size of it. This is a scale. Okay, this is a scale size of an inch. So I blew it up so you guys can see every line of it. Alright, within an inch, okay, from 0 to 1, there are 16 equal parts. Okay, 16 equal parts. So if I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are 16 equal parts. Okay, so within an inch, we divide it into 16 equal parts, and that's how we figure out from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, all that stuff. Okay, now, whole numbers. When we talk about a whole number, you guys hopefully learned in math that if you have the same number, or what does that always equal?
1 whole.
Okay, it always equals 1 whole. Okay, so every time you get to 16, you go to a 1 whole number. Alright, so we need to make sure we remember that. Okay. Next part, a half inch. Okay, a half inch is what is divided right in the middle of it. Okay, half inch is right here. Okay, on your notes, this is what I would want you to do. Okay, when you guys get your notes, this is what I want. I want you to highlight in blue on Tiny PDF a half inch, and you're actually going to write 1/2 above it. Notice with 1/2 it is split into 2 equal parts. Okay, if I would measure a line and a line is this, it takes up this 1 whole space. That is why it's called a half. It takes up half the space. Okay, it takes up half the space. So that is a half inch. After a half inch, we have a 1/4 inch. When we think about a quarter, how many quarters are in $1?
4.
4. There are 4 quarters in $1, so we're going to divide up an inch into 4 equal parts. So every time we count to 4, that is going to be a quarter. So on your notes, you'll take this and you'll count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Highlight this, and that'd be 1/4. Count to 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Highlight it. That will be 2/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Highlight it. That gives us 3/4. Okay? So notice that the inches are divided up into 4 equal parts. If we had a line that would go all the way to there, we filled up this space, and this space, which gives us 1, 2, 3, which is 3/4. Okay, which is 3/4. Alright, after that one, we divide it up into 8 equal parts, 1/8. To do this, we skip a line, we count a line. We skip a line, we count a line. So, I'm going to skip, count, which is what?
1.
1/8. Skip, count.
2.
2 8s. Skip count 3 8s. Now this is what I want you guys to do on your notes. Skip count 4 8s. This is what you should be doing as well. Skip count 5 8s. Skip count 6 8s. Skip count 7 8s. Alright? Now if we had a line that goes right through here, we count 1 space is filled up, 2 spaces filled up, 3 spaces filled up. So that gives me 3 8s. Okay? Last one is 1/16 of an inch. When we do 1/16 of an inch, that is every single line. So we're going to count every single line. Notice that this one's in black because we count every single line. We're not going to highlight any specific lines. We're just going to count 1/16, 2/16, 3/16. Okay, this is what I would have you guys do on your notes. Whoa, that's 8, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12,
13, 14, 15.
Okay? So, every single line is always up to a 16th. If we go and have to measure a specific line to here, we count the spaces. 1 space, 2 space, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that would be our 7/16. Okay? And we reduce. When we were talking about reducing, it is very easy, okay, to know when to reduce. Okay? In math class, they tell you the denominator has to divide into the numerator, or vice versa. The numerator has to divide into the denominator. Well, in measurement, okay, in measurement, notice these are our denominators. These 4 are denominators. We do not change these denominators. They stay the same. Okay, they stay the same. So, for this, if we have a number that is 2/4, okay, does the numerator go into the denominator?
Yeah.
Yes. So we figure that out. We divide each one by 2. Gives me 1. Gives me 2. It gives me 1/2. Okay? Now if I do this again, let's say it's, okay, this can also be reduced. Okay, 2 goes into both of them again. Okay, we divide it by 2, divide by 2, we get 3/4. Alright? Now, notice that we are always dividing things by 2. Okay, we always divide things by 2. The best way to do this is, okay, I would want you to write this down on your paper, is when we reduce, okay, the numerator is even over our denominator. So anytime we have an even number as our numerator, we reduce. Does that make sense to everybody? This part right here, okay, is our reduce. This is how we know we need to reduce. Okay, if the denominator, okay, is always even, our numerator is going to be even. That means we okay, that means we reduce. Okay? When we reduce, let's say I have 8/16.
1/2.
Okay? 8/16 is 1/2. Okay, but if you don't know that by just looking at it, okay, that's fine. This is what we do. 8/16, we got an even number, right? Even number on the numerator. So when we have an even number, we divide by 2. That's going to give me 4/8. Do we still have an even number? Do we still have an even number? Yes. So we divide by 2 again. Do Do we have an even number still? Okay, we continue to divide by 2 until we have an odd number. Now, do we have an odd number? Yes, so we are done reducing. That is the simplest form right there. Okay, so we have an even number all the way till the last part, and that's odd. Okay, now if I have a ruler, okay, if I have a ruler, I am going to have this. This is going to be on Canvas. I'm going to have this up. This is a quiz that you guys have to do. Alright, you have to, this is a practice quiz to make sure you guys know how to measure and understand what we are doing. Okay? So up here, it's a simple process. If you do not know automatically that that's 1/8, the best way to do this is with in between each whole number, how many equal parts are there? 16 equal parts between each whole number. So the best way to do this is you take this and you count 1, 2. So that's 2, and if we're count every single line, we always put it over 16. So it'd be over 16. Is this to our simplest form?
No.
No. So we have to divide by 2. Divide each one to be 1/8. Is this to our simplest form?
Yes.
Yes. So we leave it. So the answer to A is 1/8. Okay? Then again, I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because I count every single line, I put it over 16, so it's 8 over 16. Then I reduce. Okay? If you don't know that's a half, I divide each one by 2 until I get an odd number, and that gives me 1/2. So B is 1/2. Alright? Now, when you pass a whole number, I pass a whole number. Once you pass a whole number, you start counting over at 1. Okay, remember we said 16 over 16 equals 1? Well, once we get to 16, we start counting over again. So I'm past here, so I'm at 1, so I start counting again. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6. So I'm going to write 1 because I passed that whole number, and I'm going to write 6 over 16. Oops, this is D. 1 and 6 over 16. Is this to the simplest form?
Yes. No.
No, because why? We have an even number on top. We have an even number on top, so because we have that, we have to reduce it, divide each one by 2, so we have 1 and 3/8. Okay? Are there any questions? Alright, so today, what you guys are going to do, you're going to fill out the notes, and you're also going to take this quiz.